People are at their peak creative potential when their backs are against the wall. When they have seemingly ran out of all options at their disposal, they turn limitations into opportunities. One such limitation is the post-apocalyptic world of Metro 2033, converted into an opportunity of survival by its citizens. Barricading themselves into the underground metro tunnels might not be the perfect place to call home, but it gives hope that despite everything, humanity can still survive and maybe one day reclaim the very land that they have destroyed. I know there is an irony to it, but that's the whole point of Metro 2033. In these underground metro tunnels, you walk in the shoes of Artyom, who is tasked with relaying a message by a ranger called Hunter. Hunters are neutral peacemakers of Metro, trying to protect these underground passages from monsters and humans, although for the context of this game, they could just be one and the same. Artyom is a very fitting protagonist for an FPS. His thoughts always resonate with yours, and any feelings that you have seem to coincide with his. In the opening moments, you can see a poster hanging in Artyom's cabin, asking you to believe alongside pictures of how the world was before its destruction. Artyom is hopeful that humans can go back on the surface again someday. That is just the overall tone of this game. It's dark, depressing, but hopeful at times. Life in these metro tunnels is far from normal, but you can see people trying to make it seem like that. You will find someone mopping the floor, playing the guitar, selling items and food, creating makeshift weapons, guarding the entrance to the outside world, having conversations, sitting at stores from where you can buy weapons and upgrades in exchange for ammo, since that is the currency here. You will also find abandoned train cars and empty compartments turned into a makeshift home. There's an incredible sense of survival here that is absent from other games of this type. There is a great moment where you meet this kid wearing clothes that barely fit him, asking for a bullet. He probably doesn't even know the real use of that bullet aside from the fact that it is something that is valued in the world around him. The peaceful stations offer a moment of downtime from the usual gunplay. The major world building themes are conveyed here, but the story is mostly told in transition. You will meet a handful of individuals, and the moment you start liking them or building a bond with them, the world takes them away from you, as if they were a sacrifice to push you forward. Even Artyom reflects on this in his diary. There are also numerous times when you get into trouble only to be saved by someone you hardly know right at the perfect moment. By the way, that is not by chance. It is done by the Dark Ones, the creatures that now live on the surface. They have been telepathically communicating with people in order to help Artyom, the Chosen One. These Dark Ones are essentially human beings who adapted to the radiation. Their goal was always to communicate with humans that they were peaceful and only wanted to survive just like they did. Artyom and everyone underground except a character named Khan think that the Dark Ones will destroy the last remaining survivors. Only Khan thinks that they are a part of nature and should just be left alone. I want to make a distinction. The creatures that fight and attack you are not the Dark Ones. They are rats and bears turned into something terrifying and powerful by the radiation. This is something that the game doesn't mention, but it is written in the book. Coming back, the Dark Ones genuinely want peace, and they convey that through hallucinations to Artyom, who they have selected as their chosen one. All this comes down to the ending, where you use missiles to destroy the Dark One's breeding ground or save them. They give you a choice, but it doesn't really matter because the canon ending is destroying them, basically conveying that humans got what they deserve and they are all responsible for their own destruction. You see the irony now. Artyom is hopeful that the destruction of the Dark Ones will save the Metro, but the Dark Ones are hoping for peace and understanding with the people of the Metro. You cannot fight a threat that doesn't even exist. Artyom is hopeful for defeating an enemy that is not even won. My thoughts of this game can be summarized by an event that happens during the third half of this game. You meet this boy called Sasha who just lost his uncle and has been separated from his mother. He climbs on Artyom's back and they enter this room where Sasha asks if that is the sky, pointing towards the open ceiling. Sasha had only heard about the sky in stories, and while his world was always surrounded by darkness of the tunnel, that light gave him hope. Hope of a civilization above. That civilization was the Dark Ones, and Artyom destroyed that, not knowing that he destroyed hope too in the process.